and 2 and becoming the club's greatest ever goal scorer, beating an old record by Soapy Valance. The Tigers, their 3rd loss in a row.
Order, you'll be in contempt. Now listen, Barnesy, you don't put up your finger and say, you just say it here or you're out.
Say it. Why can't we just leave the umpires alone, mate? They're only
Oh, here it is.
Yes, and you can see more of Rex and the boys tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock here on 7. But now you can see Rex live from the MCG. And Rex, another big battle today between traditional rivals Richmond and Carlton getting over the line.
Oh, by 22 points, Tim. It probably was a very, very good win in the eyes of many Carlton people. They've been thrashed the last couple of weeks, although it was only 8 points to Geelong. I thought they should have won. They came down after a belting at the hands of Geelong, and Richmond really took it up to them in the first quarter and a half. But then Williams got going. Feeties was great, and of course Bradley we gave best on the ground again, and it was all over probably towards three-quarter time. Although the Tigers rallied in the last term, the lack of a class forward like Richardson or Benny Gale sort of probably told on them, and blokes like Jerica and those other guys like Holland down there just couldn't get the ball enough to get it through the big sticks.
Speaking about sticks, Rex, Stephen Kernahan breaking Soapy Valance's record today. You wouldn't have seen too many better leaders than him in your 35 years in the industry.
It's been absolutely magnificent, Gerard. He kicked 2 today. He got a bit of a knock on the hip. I think he'll have a corky and we'll have to face a test next week. But that is a magnificent contribution from a man who took over the mantle as captain at Optus Oval when he was 23 years of age, the longest-serving captain in the league, and now the greatest goal scorer in the history of Carlton. Congratulations. He's a fine example to young people who want to be successful.
And Rex, Cooter's had a dramatic week. In fact, I heard John Elliott talking today and said that Cooter had actually broken down and cried yesterday, so he's under enormous pressure. How did he perform?
Well, I don't know whether that was the case or not. If it was, good on him, because I just think you've got to let your emotions go, and he let him go on the field today. He was absolutely sensational. He took a couple of those screamers higher than Joe Cocker on one occasion, but his 2 goals certainly showed that he's back in form, and he was almost the difference between the two sides when the game was up for grabs, so congratulations to him.
What about the pressure on the Tiger coach, Rex? Do you think that the forces will start to... Well, they should just basically come out and support him now, because there will be, I guess, a fair bit of the old usual stuff from Richmond in the post-mortem.
Look, the real Richmond people won't even worry about Robert Walls. He is a class act, and he's doing his utmost to get the team up. The idiots out the front who have never played the game, they'll have a go, and that's fine, but they don't understand. You see, you can't have a guy like Matthew Richardson sitting outside the fence, and a bloke like Benny Gale who takes marks at centre-half forward like you wouldn't believe in the first ruck, and a bloke like Charles out of the side, and a couple of others like Knights and Tony Free retiring. People don't understand that without the cattle you can't get them up. Wolsey, he's been there, done that. He got the flick from Carlton. I don't think he'll get the flick from Richmond, because if they do, I'll hand in my membership, and I'm not about to do that. Richmond are going to be okay, but they just need one. If they can get just one win back on the line, I think they're going to sort of arrest this little bit of a slide that they're in.
And Rex, just quickly, Carlton back on track now?
Oh, look, I don't know. I worry about Carlton. Pace, you would realise that pace is not a 100-metre sprint. When Richmond were really burning the grass in the first quarter and a half, Carlton looked flat-footed. But then the pace went out of the game. The pace didn't go out of Richmond, but the pace went out of the game. And that brought it back to a one-on-one slog. Carlton were a little bit luckier. Probably they made the play with Bradley out of the centre and Williams. But I tell you what, when the pace went out of the game, Carlton were more comfortable. If they're exposed for pace for 120 minutes, they're going to be in more trouble than my scone, mate.
OK, Burbler, we'll have to leave you there, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning here on Channel 7 on the football panel, and we'll be back after this break.
Hey guys, you knock it off? You want it? Knock it off, all right?
You idiot!
Come on then. Shake it out.